everybody. Looks like a few of you are already here. Hi, Becky. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Beth. Hi, Laurette. Hi, Michelle. Hi, everyone. Today can you guys hear me okay? I know I sometimes it comes off quiet and I move my mic to a different spot. I'm hoping that will help with the audio, and I will also try to remember to speak up a little bit. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Sherry. Okay, I'm hearing one sounds good. That's a good start. Hi, Judy. Okay, so what I am going to do today is I'm going to do a Kimekomi ornament, but I want to show you guys a little bit about how I do these when we don't have a template. And also, this is not originally what I planned on making. I couldn't find my good knife that I usually use to cut these lines, and there's a lot of lines on this one, and so I was basically damaging the foam as I was trying to cut it. And so I kind of came up with something new, so I'm excited to see how this comes out with you guys. So we'll kind of go through a couple of things as I do this. Let's see who else has joined us though. Judy, I don't know if I missed you, but hello. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Peggy. Hi. Okay. All right, guys. So let me show you what the original one looks like before we go. So this is what this pattern usually looks like. If we were to follow every line and go through and basically make a cut and put fabric on every individual segment that is pre-marked on this ball. You can see some of those lines here. Hi, Brian. Hi, Nancy. I'm glad you're excited. So there's that. Basically, it might be easier if I just kind of show you with the filled in one. I'm going to treat some of these segments like they're one. And so it'll make more of a, I don't know, like a quilt block, like an arrow, rather than a diamond like this. And then these bigger ones, I'm going to treat also like one. So we end up with one big diamond and then a couple of smaller ones. And this is going to let us feature sort of a snow globe situation. And I'm pretty excited about it. This is one of my favorite styles of Kimekomi to make, is when I get to show off a picture. So I'm hoping this works out the way that it is in my head. Crafty223 says, hi, pinners. Happy Wednesday, Sally. Okay, so in order for us to do this, we are going to want some templates. And we don't have a template for this ball. So what I like to do when we don't have a template, I'm going to shout when I don't have a template, is I like to take a piece of plastic, like a plastic bag, and what I'm going to do is trace it. So I did pre-cut this because I just think this sound is awful, and I don't like you guys having to listen to that, and also because that would have been just a lot of me doing nothing and you having to watch that. So what I'm going to do is, this allows me to keep it flat and smooth over the curve of the foam. So I'm going to cut, I'm going to trace exactly where my lines are here. I know we don't normally teach on these, but this is something I don't think we've ever shown before, and this is a fun thing I like to do. So just thought maybe you guys might like to learn a little bit. But if you would like to see templates for either version of this one I'm sort of making up, as well as the other one I showed, we can let me know, because we would think that it would be fun to have, you know, not have to do this particular step. I'm gonna make all of these pieces now while I have the plastic, and that way I can I'm gonna just, that way I have these templates and I can get the paper and everything out of the way. So so I need this arrow shape. I need this diamond shape. So we're gonna trace that one out. It doesn't need to be perfect. Nancy said, there are the times. I think that was in regards to the sinner's comment earlier. Nancy said, yes, I would like the templates. I love Kimekomi. I would love to see us do templates for these too. So I hope maybe this is maybe this is a variation of that. Okay. And then I'm trying not to get Sharpie all over my hand. So you can see how the plastic is going to help us here, because this is so big, this piece. And so we want something that's going to work with the shape of the ball. And I'm sorry, guys, if I'm pulling off the camera here. Okay, and that's good enough. So I'm gonna set this aside, and we're gonna cut this out. I'm gonna move my ball up here. You guys still see it? So here are our little shapes on plastic. This is fiddly. I almost tried to do it with interfacing, but I really like something clear. I have a lot of interfacing scraps. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these out exactly this shape that I traced on the plastic. It's not actually going to be our final template. And we wouldn't want to use this for tracing fabric because it's fragile and slippery and not really going to do what we want it to do. Lots of votes for templates. If you're just joining us, I am making the Diamond Star Kimekomi, but I'm doing a variation of it that I made up out of necessity because I can't find my knife. I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago. I'm sort of in the process of cleaning out and reshaping my craft room, and process is definitely the word for it. It's a mess in here and I can't quite find anything when I need it. Robin, okay, let's see. Sally said she would love templates. Butterfly Whisper said, good afternoon. Hello, hello. Hello, Robin. Hi, Shan. Okay. This is our big diamond that we're cutting out. I think these scissors would be better. They'll work great on the paper, but not on this plastic, apparently. Here we go. The plastic. Okay. Like I mentioned, it doesn't actually need to be perfect. But thank goodness we're done with that. I am going to use this piece of cardstock to create the actual templates that we're going to use for this. Let me catch up on chat here. Nancy said, I trace my templates onto clear plastic lids or containers so that I can reuse them later. This is a great tip. And I also do that. I will usually, this is my window for a different pattern, but this is a window that I would use. I think this is a dollar store chopping mat that I cut up. So I love that tip. I use it myself. These ones are just because I have never made them before. And so we are basically making a paper one to start. Hi from Savannah, MBH, and that is your username. I wish it would show me your names if you could put it in. Hi, Robin. Okay. Awesome, guys. Okay. So what I'm going to do is draw these with our tucking allowance, for lack of a better way. And I'm going to do it down here so I don't waste my cardstock. But I'm going to draw them sloppy and just large so that I have more than enough fabric. We're done with that one. This shape, this one is going to be the one that is the most important one to actually have a template for because of the narrow points. Okay. And then our diamond. Robin said, could use that same idea for fussy cuts. That's true. I have a little 4-inch chopping mat that I have, just a square that is clear that I use for fussy cuts myself. We also have a video that Kennedy made, but it was, I think, Darlene's idea where we used tracing paper. What I don't have is a marker or something to mark my fabric, but that's okay. Nancy said, Robin, I do have templates for that, for fussy cuts also. Yep. Brian said, I eat rolled oats for breakfast every day, and the lids are solid plastic. You can see through for this sort of thing. That's a great idea. I am all about how can we recycle things. Sally said, I love to do Kimekomi baubles. So much fun. Me too. They are a lot of fun. And I think there's a uniqueness that you can get from using different fabrics, right, than you would with folding things, because you don't lose designs. I'm going to do something with this template that is going to help me make sure I don't misplace my fabrics. And I'm going to go ahead and cut a little window out of this one. Robin said, "Hi everyone, I made my first Kimekomi ornament yesterday. It came out okay and is something I want to try again. I love the idea of tracing templates onto something hard." Yeah, I find it very useful. So I'm cutting out an approximate window. I don't think that it's going to be exact, and that's okay. What I want is to be able to see through this template so that way I can plan my fussy cuts accordingly. So I think we're ready to start cutting fabric now. Robin said, "I think there's a tutorial for the templates. I could be mistaken." No, you're not. We do have a video for that. It is for fussy cuts, and this is just another way. This is the way I've been doing it for years. So since I'm sort of making up the this version of the diamond star, I thought I would share my process a little bit here. Okay, so normally I would use a heat erasable pen. I don't know where they are. I don't know if you guys are sensing a theme, but I don't know where they are. And that's okay. I have my rotary cutter. We'll be fine. Robin said, "Yes, Darlene made the template, the tutorial. That was her idea." Yep. Kathy said, "Hi, OG peeps." Okay. Let's do... I'm feeling... What do I want here? You guys, this is going to look exactly... If these land just like this, then I'm going to get the skull and the rose. And won't that look so cool? I'm being very careful to cut even beyond my template here, because if this isn't enough fabric, it's just going to get frustrating. So I know. I'm being very careful. Please understand I'm being so careful as I'm cutting here. Normally I can rotate this mat, but it is a tight fit here with all my stuff. Okay, because I've never done this before, normally I would cut all of these out and go ahead and do it. So I'm not doing individual steps at a time like this. But I've never done this before with this pattern, with any of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and tuck a section to make sure that this template is gonna work for me. And then maybe I'll go back and I'll cut the rest of them. So you can see my fabric's a little wrinkled, and that's actually just fine. Okay, so if you guys have seen me do this before, one thing I like to do is widen out my cuts. And also, because of the way that I did this today, it's worthwhile to make sure that I actually cut the lines. Sally said, "Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your techniques. I totally get the I don't know where they are." Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Looks like I didn't make any misses on my cuts here. I'm really excited, you guys. This fabric is, you know how you don't really want to use it because you like it so much, so it sort of just sits in this like fabric purgatory of like being collected rather than used. I have that problem a lot, and this is one of those ones where they've sent it to me and I have had a hard time wanting to cut into it at all. Let's see here. Oh, I really hope this skull stays visible on the top. I love it. Nancy, I know. I was so careful. I went so slow. I understand. I knew somebody was going to be nervous as I was doing that. I've got not a lot of room here, and I can't rotate my mat. Well, you guys, that's pretty perfect. What do you think? These are the easy pieces. It's gonna make me so sad. I'm gonna have to cut a lot in to get the pieces that I want. I really love this fabric so much. I hate doing that. I know we're supposed to just use it, but try and hold this up so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit more. I'm just taking that sharp blade side and making sure that all of my raw ends get tucked in. Well, that's fabulous. I love it so much. Nancy said, I like it. Robin said, I think it's going to be cute. Thank you. I'm excited too. And so, if you looked so hard, you could probably, like if I was pulling this any tighter, you could see these other indents. I don't think it's going to be an issue though. I can't really tell. If this was a thing that you were worried about and you were trying this option, batting would solve that problem. I'm going to set my ball down and we're going to pick another moth. Which one did we do? Okay. We need an orange one. Nancy said, it looks good. I'll just close my eyes the next time you cut. I am about to cut now, and I will be more careful. If I can rotate this without, I'm so afraid I'm gonna knock everything over, and then what if I lose you guys? Because I'm You feel better about that? That was much safer. Tammy said, hi everyone, more spooky season. You'll get that from me until November. You guys are, I'm 2 weeks in a row this week, 2 Wednesdays in a row. So I'll be back next week too. I'm catching up. Robin said, I think it's going to be cute. Thank you. I'm so excited too. Nancy said, okay, I cut. Were we feeling better about the cutting situation? Robin said, I like it. Peggy said, don't you love it when a plan comes together? I'm pretty excited. I think this is going to look really cute when it's done. Robin said, that was better. I know. Sorry I stressed everyone out about my cutting skills. My husband is probably watching and was also like, what are you doing? Shan said, that's awesome. Love spooky seasons. Yay, I'm so excited. You guys like it? I think we have some of this fabric in supply shop. I don't know if we have this garden one anymore, but the purples and oranges that we have, I'm pretty sure we do have. So when I'm trying to center a piece like this, I'm kind of staging it a little bit with my thumb, so I know I'm going to put this kind of right where that center was, and then I'm going to put it right back on top, and then we sort of pray. We just hope that everything is going to stay where it belongs. I can feel the crosshairs underneath a little bit, so I'm kind of trying to use that as a guide as well. We are going to get the skull and the rose. I'm losing the stars a little bit, but that's okay. I could actually make stars later. Jan said that's Robin said, LOL, Sarah. Tammy said, I need to rewatch the beginning. I have some of those balls, but they scare me. I tried one once and it was a disaster. Do you think, Tammy, that it would be helpful if you had a template? Because I think we are talking that it would be fun to make these. And then also, because you missed the beginning, I'll just show you. So this is, I'm doing something a little different. This is the same ball. This is if I were to follow every single line and tuck into every single line, this is what we would end up with. The one I'm making right now, I am treating it more or less like a snow globe version of this same marked foam. Dadine said, howdy. Hello everybody who's still kind of late joining us. We're making the diamond star, a variation on the diamond star pattern today. Try to keep our little skull friend centered here. I'm so obsessed with how this is coming out. Tony said, hello, everyone. Tammy said a template would help. I think a video would be fantastic. I love both. Dean said, you're tucking instead of pinning. Yes, today we're doing Kimekomi. This is one of those things that, I don't know, it's not my specialty, but it is one of the things that I do on the team. I like playing with fussy cuts like this. So today we're tucking. And that template I made, my homemade template, is saving me a lot of waste, which is awesome. Tony said, I'm just getting ready for a doctor's appointment. I'm going to try and listen to it on the way. Drive safe. So I can see, I'm going to try and show you guys here. Sorry, I keep getting close-up shots of my arm. Okay. I can see a little bit something is happening here that's not my favorite, which is that these corners here and here are collapsing just a little bit. That is because I had a bad knife to cut this, and not because, like, if my knife had been sharper, then those would probably be more crisp. It won't matter in the end because we'll use the cord to create the illusion of nice sharp points there. Beautiful. I'm going to quickly put a pin in the top so I don't accidentally put one of these moths on upside down. Okay, we need a black one now. That looks different than our first one. We need a spider. No. Ah. I see the one we need. It's so far in on the fabric. I want this one. I wonder if there's, oh, I might just not have the yardage for it. What a bummer. Oh well. What did I put here? I guess we'll do this one. Maybe closer to. Okay. He said I like the mushrooms. I really like them too. I don't want to have to take it apart now though, because I think if I was gonna do like a rose and a mushroom, then I would have needed to space them different. That's okay. This is okay. I still really love it, and I think maybe I'll get really lucky and we'll have more in the shop. Or I'll just find some, because I really do like it a lot. You guys might notice that I'm missing the corner. I don't actually know if this is going to work. It probably will be fine. Let's see. Good enough. It'll be good enough. There we go. That's pretty centered. When I'm tucking big pieces like this, I like to go opposite corners to start. And it sort of lets everything else stretch in a nicer way. We cut that really close there, but it looks like it's going to be just fine. Tammy said the other one was spooky too. The colors were almost Dia de las Muertas colors. Gorgeous. You're talking about the I don't remember. Nancy said, I did Kimekomi on a disc. I was always afraid it was going to fall apart, but it survived and turned out cute. That's so fun. We have a really fun little pumpkin on a disc that does the same technique. I think it's called the patchwork pumpkin if you're looking for it on the YouTube channel. I almost made that today. That was almost my choice. All right. Oh. Tammy said the other ornament you showed. You meant this one. You're right. It does kind of have that look. This is all Tula pink. Oh. Thank you. Trying to find where to tuck all my trash so it's not on the very messy floor. Hoping in a few weeks this is done in here and I can maybe give you guys a tour. So this is really fun that I'm not doing it on purpose, but the flowers and the skulls sort of seem to be alternating, which is neat. Nancy said, I have done several of the patchwork pumpkins. They are so cute. I really like those too. They make really good little bowl fillers. Robin said, I love Tula Pink. Shan said, a tour. Yes, please. Not in its current state, but I think it would be a lot of fun to do that eventually. This is coming out so cute. Okay, we need one more moth, and then the fabric can be less precise, and I'll probably switch to scissors. Our rose and skull motif is gonna stay the same through the whole thing, which is awesome. Okay. I'm gonna just cut very broadly because it really just doesn't need to be precise. Like that. Cool, I'm gonna keep that template. I could see myself making a lot of these. This fabric is so cool. It could almost be done in such a way where, like, say I wanted the stars, right? Right here. You could almost use the same material for the whole thing because those fit. Those fit. That would have looked really neat. Let's set this aside. I think we're done with it. Nancy said, that's the one I did, but I used fabric with little mice eating strawberries on it. I enjoyed it after it was finished. The other Nancy says that sounds so cute. Please post a picture. I would love to see it. My ball has a dent in it. It didn't come from the shop that way. That was, for the record, me storing things badly. I'll show you when I give you a tour someday. I'll try not to lose the skull here. Very good. I'm having a hard time centering this piece. I'm sorry, I have to keep pulling that out, guys. There we go. Kathy said, I love seeing other craft rooms. I get even more inspiration. I don't know. I mean, maybe when it's done. The inspiration is not the word you would get from my craft room in its current state. It would inspire you to clean yours, maybe. So this is sort of the easy part of this ornament. I do think that some of these other shapes, not the diamonds, but these arrow feathers, I don't know what we want to call them, are going to be a little trickier, and I may switch to a needle for especially like these parts. We'll see. We gotta cut this or it's gonna keep being real fiddly for me. Tracy said, hey all, I haven't been able to catch a live for a bit. Life has been chaotic. Hope everyone's doing well. I love the fabric you're using, Sarah. Thank you. Sorry life has been chaotic. Maybe it's, sometimes chaos is a good chaos, sometimes it's not. But I hope things are settling down for you. We just started back at school and summer felt like good chaos, but chaos still. Okay. Let's do a quick check. All my raw edges are mostly where they need to be. You guys, this is so cute. I love it. Okay. Let's set that down for a moment. Crafty223 said, is there a video for the patchwork pumpkins? Oh, Terry, thank you. Hi. Yes, there is a YouTube video for the patchwork pumpkin. And a template for that one as well. It's kind of older. That's a lot of fun. Okay, well, I'll pull this one off the table, I think. It's a lot of white. So I think we need a dark color to start here. Maybe orange. Yeah. They're both really pretty. I was hoping that maybe I could tie the stars in. Actually, I think I can. I think we're going to do this to start. Sally said, love it. Thank you. Tammy said, gotta run. Have a good night. Can't wait to see the finished ornament. Share templates, please. Make a point to get on it because I know it's one we don't have. So I'm going to need 8 of these. Right. Maybe I will use my rotary blade a little bit. I'm gonna do this on the bias a little bit. It's not gonna hurt anything, and it's gonna let me maximize my, I think, my fabric a little bit. And just like before, let me test this piece before I cut the other ones so I don't find out that this isn't gonna fit. Can you imagine? That would be terrible. Okay, I'm seeing lots of votes for the orange, so. Maritza said, wow, I made it to the start, sitting in the car at middle school to pick up grandson. That'll be me in a couple of hours. Robin said, I like the orange. Nancy said, yes, orange. Robin said, just joined. We'll catch the replay for the beginning. This username just says, Psst, yeah, you, but I don't know your name. And I'm sorry. I do wish it would just let you guys put your names in. But it says, hi everyone, watching from afar while I paint boards for siding. Cool ornament, neato technique. Thank you. Trish said, oh, I'm glad I got to see you. I'm so glad you're here. I hope everyone's having fun with this. I know sometimes it's fun to watch us sort of play a little bit. Because you guys are so creative, it usually ends up being very collaborative. This does look like it's gonna fit, so let's just get her done. Martha. Okay, let's trim this one off. So one thing I'm not exactly sure, and we'll just learn together. I'm gonna uncross my legs and probably bump the table here like I do every time. Very carefully. Since I've never done it this way before, I haven't really planned out how the cord is going to go on. Usually, I like to plan the cording in a way that minimizes anybody seeing any ends, basically. So we'll have to see how that comes out together. I mentioned this earlier that I used a bad knife to score this, and it's causing some problems with the foam collapsing in some places, so I'm trying to dig it out of there a little bit. That one's almost too tiny. Robin said, I really need to try this. Finally conquered wrapping the cord on the angels. That's awesome. Always a little intimidated by that step. I've actually never made an angel before. I've been here for 6 years. Look how cool. All right, I'm going to cut the rest of these. That way we don't have to keep going back and forth, because now we know that the template is the right size. I can just do it. Melinda said, I've not been brave enough to try Kimekomi style. I think you should give it a shot. It's real fun. It's pretty sloppy. We'll see if that even works. Martha, yeah, should have said, that's not your fault. I just don't do this so much enough, but I am doing this next week too. So next Wednesday, it'll be me as well. Maybe I will have the good sense to remember everybody's names. So we got 4. So we need 3 more. Barbara Green said, hi, Sarah. I can just barely hear you. I'm sorry about that. I haven't heard that feedback so much today, but I will try and speak a little louder. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. I will let you guys know. I'm not really pushing that time limit yet, but for some reason we get close to my kids' pickup time, then I may have to step away and we'll finish it next time. But I don't think it'll be an issue, but you never know when you're making it up. I think we're also done with this one after these. And I'm going to go ahead and just widen up these lines a little bit on all the ones on this side that I'm working on. Oops. For those of you who have wanted to try Kimekomi and have not, can you tell me a little bit more about why? Are you feeling intimidated by it? Because maybe we can help. To me, it feels a lot like foundation paper piecing, I guess. Or English paper piecing, any kind of paper piecing. It kind of gives me that same sort of look, the geometric look and shapes that you get from that style of quilting. This is so cute. Does anyone else put up a Halloween tree? I actually don't, but I think I would love to. Michelle said, totally intimidated, always when trying something new. Then I just do it, and eventually it's okay. Yeah, I think we all feel that way when we first start something new. I feel like this has it's got a lot of wiggle room. You don't even have to, like, I could have taken that piece of fabric, just laid it on here, and tucked it, and then just cut around it. And I think maybe it would have been fine. You don't have to have a template. It's harder, but Robin said, I think the sticking part for me, I think maybe there's more coming there. Belinda said, good way to use fabric scraps. Could do like a kaleidoscope pattern. Yep. I think that the original version of this does have that kaleidoscope sort of look. Lots of little pieces. Martha said, just because I'm brand new to my current fascination, I want to make sure I'll make all this stuff at once. But I'm fixing an 1880 house and working a garden, and that's why. Okay, back to painting. This part here with these almost reminds me of that star-crossed version of the basic star pattern that I think Lydia came up with. Just that look, right? Robin said, I love watching the live pinnings. It gets me motivated to try something like this. I hope you will. I'm really having fun with this version. If I'm being honest, I'm also feeling a little intimidated about these next pieces, these ones up here. I'm a little bit afraid that they're gonna could ruin the whole thing, you know? Okay. So when this hangs, I'll probably hang it, right? So we have so this is the top. And that way we're showing off all of the pretty ones versus this version. I wanted to show off the rainbows in the middle. I love that there's a couple different ways now that we can use this ball because this is working. This is working, you guys. Okay, let's do the other side. Go ahead and widen out my grooves here. Oh, I was afraid I was gonna that I had missed one. Did I bring a knife down here? Surely I did. All right, good enough. I am, just for this, some of these pieces, going to switch to using an upholstery needle. Um, because of the knife I used, some of this foam is not, I need to just be a little bit delicate with it or it's not going to look nice. And then I will flip back because it's much easier to grip the tucking tool than it is these tiny little needles. This said, so cool. Thank you. It is really cool. I'm pretty excited. Sally said, Sarah, this is turning out really cool. Thank you. Shan said, love it. Belinda said, I like your swivel cutting board. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things I own. Trish said, you make it look so easy. It really is easy, which is why it looks easy, because you're just cutting and tucking. Ooh, I haven't done it with this needle in a long time. I can tell it feels funny in my hand. And tucked that on accident. I cannot stress the importance of getting a good cut on this. I can tell how frustrated I am just with dealing with some of these bad cuts from my knife. I'll go shopping after this. I gotta switch back. This is driving me crazy. Okay, let's see here. If we can get this one in and looking nice, I bet the rest of them will be fine. Peggy said, is that an extra long tapestry needle? I think so, or an upholstery needle. I got it at Walmart in like a pack of them. I like using them for the glue. I used to, before we had this, I used to do all of my Kimekomi with those needles. That was the only thing I used to tuck. But we didn't, that was before we had our own tucking tool, and this is easier to use. Especially, it's more ergonomic That is so hard to grip. There are uses for it though, and I think when I'm working with teeny tiny like points, the needle tends to be still useful. Georgiana's here. Hello. Welcome. Thank you. She said, good afternoon. I'm just getting home. Looks great, Sarah. Thanks so much. I did not grab anything to make a bow with this today, so it might go without one today. Forgot. Gina's here. Hi, everyone. I'm late. So you're doing Kimekomi. I've been scared to try this. This looks good. Great. Thank you. Tell me why you've been scared to try it. If you want. I think that maybe something about it feels less precise than folding. But I don't know. It feels more like paint by number to me. Is it the cord? Is that what... I would love to know if you guys have more insight what it is that is feeling scary about this. Robin said, I'm loving this diamond pattern so much that I just placed an order for some Kimekomi foam balls. I'm so excited! I can't wait to see! A couple years ago, I made, not this exact pattern, something kind of like this though, where it featured a image, like a snow globe image like this. And I did it in a Harry Potter. I have some of the cutest Harry Potter fabric, you guys. My kid's librarian does her whole library in Harry Potter, and I made it for her, and it was a hit. I might have to make another one. This is another one where the foam collapsed because my cutting job was bad. So I'm going to try to fix it a little. Sorry if you guys can't see that. I just don't want to mess it up more by holding it too far from my blind eyes. Ugh. Hopefully that ends up looking pretty in the end. It's kind of at a point, maybe no one will notice because there'll be cord there. Peggy said, for me, it's cutting the fabric the correct size and shape. Okay, so I am hearing a template would be good. If you watch the beginning of this video, you can see how I made my own templates for this one. We have templates for the swirl, and we have templates for the moonlight, which is the 6-segment one. And I think we probably will get templates for this as well. And then cutting the fabric is, you know, just trace. But we are trying to, I think, have more templates for this kind of thing. Brenda said, I've never been able to do this method. I always end up cutting the fabric. Do you mean the part that should be here? Like you cut into it too much? Jean says it's cutting the lines and getting the fabric to fit properly. I love the look though. We'll get my nerve up eventually. I hope you'll try. I don't have the good knife, but finding a good utility knife seems to be the best way. Some people like to use heat knives. I tried that on this and I'm really unhappy with how it worked. So I just get like a retractable blade. It's skinny, like a half an inch wide, and that's the ones with the breakaway knives, blades, and that has always worked really well for me. You don't need to cut a lot. You want the fabric to sit, or you want the foam to sort of be kind of, I don't know exactly how to explain this, tight, I guess. Like close, these grooves you don't want them to be too wide or they will not grip it. And then you might run into that problem. But at the end of the day, the cord hides everything. The cord hides everything. So it gives you a lot of wiggle room. Even this, that is all messed up from me cutting badly, is still going to get hidden by the cord. Belinda said she's afraid that the foam will break away. So I've had that happen before too. And I tend to, that's the needles help with that because I can sort of lift it, right? You can kind of get it underneath and then push it up, and it doesn't need to be perfect. Brenda said, yes, trying to get the fabric in the ditch. I always slit it. I see. Yeah, trying to keep your scissors really flat because you want, and that's why I tend to flip back and forth between the two because, you know, maybe I don't like, can't even see it necessarily, but maybe I don't like how some of these raw edges are. I can go in with the narrow point and I can grab that and push it in. And then the cord will hide it all. You kind of can't. I find that the cord fixes a lot of things. So if it doesn't look perfect, you have to trust the process the whole way through. But I hope you guys will try. And I will see about more templates. If you guys like this style, we want to make more of them. So here's an example, Belinda, of where my foam collapsed. You see that? Right here. It kind of fell into it, and it is hard to, like, it feels like I can't do anything about it, and maybe I can't, but in the end, you won't see it. You know, I could use wider cord there, and it would be fine. Brenda said, I didn't see at the beginning. Did you make the pattern in the foam first? So, I'm glad you're here. Let me just explain what I'm doing for anyone who maybe has shown up really late. I am using our Diamond Star ball, and I changed it just a little bit to make this sort of snow globy, flip that the right way around, flip the snow globe version here, because my knife went missing, and all these little pieces would have been hard to cut. So what I did was at the very beginning, I kind of showed how I created my own templates with just a plastic bag until we can get you guys templates. And if that is having something to trace and cut helps, then you can use that strategy, and it will like help you have what you need. Debbie said, good afternoon, coming in late. Hi, Sarah and OGs. Hello, welcome. Tracy said, I actually used to make similar fabric balls to use as embellishments for my wreaths. I did them before I ever found the Ornament Girl. So happy to know it has a name. Now I need to make this. That's so cool. I bet that looks really neat hanging on a wreath. Christine said, hi. All, I've been hoping for a Kimekomi live, and here I am coming toward the end. I hope you'll catch the replay. This has been a bit of an experiment this time around. I've never, what am I using that for? I've never done this version of this pattern before, and it's been working out real good. But now we are at the point where I'm actually a little scared. So, okay. Robin said, real art is not about perfection, just seeing the vision and creating. Brenda said, thank you. Tammy said, I made it home and you're still on. Yep, I'm here. We're going to work on the tops and bottoms here. I need to start keeping a trash can over here with me. All right. So just looking around to see if I had a pen. I would really prefer to trace this. Wonder if I have one in my bag here. All right, guys, I'm gonna grab a pen. What? Oh, this will be fine. I just want to be able to cut with my scissors, and if I don't draw it, I'm not gonna know what I'm doing. I can at least watch it. Oops. This feels huge for these little pieces. That's okay. But oops. You can tell I'm being not super precise. You don't need to be, because you always cut that extra fabric off. All right. Let's do this. All right, just like these other ones, I feel like this piece is far too big. So this part of the template might need some work. These funny shapes are always a little bit like that to me. Okay. I feel like a piece like this could be where an upholstery needle might be useful here, because we have tight angles, and it's not so much that this isn't useful, because it is. It's more that we need to be, it's long, right? These sides are just short. And especially here, I might go in and treat it just like sewing and clip that all the way up here. Robin said, "That's going to be so pretty." I'm excited about it. I'm feeling pretty good about our work here today. I definitely made this template too large. That was a lot of cut fabric I had to cut off. So I need to play around with that if I was going to do another one of these for sure. Jean asked, why did you choose to do the top and bottom last? Does it matter where you start? I was afraid of it. It doesn't, I don't think so. I think I wanted to be able to make sure I could center these pieces, and then I absolutely should have done these top pieces first. I was like, didn't want to. I'm gonna go back. I missed a couple. Kathy said that's turning out so neat. Thank you. That was a great question, Jean. I don't think that the order really matters on these ever, unless the cord order will matter. But when you put fabric down does not. Okay, we're gonna come back to this side later because I'm gonna do the bottom. Make sure we don't lose our I'll say these tiny pieces are definitely harder. That's probably why I didn't want to do them. So if you're doing this for the first time, maybe start with something that has bigger segments to work on. It'll help build your confidence a little bit and learn the technique without feeling like you're smushing everything. could also, because of the way that this ball is marked, right? It could be all of the 8 on the top with the same snow globe feature. That would also work. Those pieces are really little too, and it's okay. As far as the foam collapsing, you just have to be gentle. Kind of sitting here thinking ahead a little bit to my cord. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to do what I want to do. I'll have to see. Yes. Martha said, "This is the coolest thing. I've got to try one." I really hope you do. I would love to see if you guys are making these and you're not in our Facebook group. Please share them if you're in our Facebook group. If you're not, the Facebook group is for our club members. We are opening the Christmas club and on the 24th. It's like a week, right? A little under a week. So there's an opportunity to join us. But if you're not, you still want to share, I love to see the pictures. So feel free to email them to us because it's so cool. And we only all benefit from creativity sharing that way, you know? I could be making these pieces significantly smaller. The template needs work. Probably won't be going right from my drawings to a printable. My fabric keeps popping out. Oh, it's under my hand. What we may do today, guys, because I still have 4 more pieces to add to this, and I know this has been a long one, so thanks for sticking with me if you have been here the whole time. I don't have a good plan for the cord, so, but I am doing Wednesday next week too. Maybe what I'll do is I'll finish this part. I gotta get my kids soon, in like 45 minutes. I want to make sure I don't rush through all of that step, you know? So maybe what we do is we finish tucking today, and I'll make kind of a plan for the cord for the next one. And then that won't take super long though. Maybe we'll do like a patchwork pumpkin also. That one will go together real quick. feeling like I don't want to leave you, I don't want to rush through the cording, and have it look sloppy, you know? But this would give us a plan for next week. Oof, this is just not working, this piece. Let's try again. I have a bigger, maybe this one? Yeah. This feels like a much more reasonable size piece, huh? I wonder if we... I'm just gonna mark my template a little bit because I'm gonna come back and maybe just use something different for the last 4 pieces. Whoops. Oh yeah, that worked way better. So I can understand the reason templates feel important, because especially for these funny shaped pieces, there's a cute angle here. Having something that's the right shape already will make all the difference in the world. And in that way, the little diamonds would be easier because they just are diamonds. Okay. Our last bit. so different approach here. I'm gonna just, I almost want to, I'm gonna maybe mark it where the point is. Now it's just gonna be easy to tuck. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me, guys. I'm definitely kind of managing some of these techniques as I go, so. Ooh, that worked much better. I like it. What do you think of that? That was much easier. Tammy just said, just sacrificed my cheap pair of fabric scissors to wrap my husband's birthday gift because, of course, my son didn't bring in scissors with everything else when he asked me to wrap. Not the scissors. Brian said, ornament looks good. I love the moths. I am very into them right now, so it was perfect when I got this sent to me. Thank you. Sally said, so stinking cool. I love the look going on here. Thanks. This ornament's basically my personality on a ball. It's like spooky stuff and stars. Tammy said, I always keep a cheap pair of my fabric scissors for just an occasion. Smart stuff. No one else is allowed in my room down here, so if something goes wrong with one of my scissors, somebody's in trouble. Debbie said the dark purple really helps to make the ornament pop. Looks great. Thank you. I'm really pleased with how this is coming out. I'm going to use my little trick I just came up with to mark the inside angle. That is a needle and not a pin. Kind of cutting up to that point. These smaller pieces like to untuck themselves a little bit sometimes. I have to try not to be afraid to really push. If you're finding that you're having a hard time with wrinkles too, knit fabric probably would work well. I've never done that before, but it stretches and maybe does what it's told a little bit better in these situations. I just want to show you guys what I mean when I say that the cord is gonna, I'm not gonna add it today because I'll run out of time. But I wanted to show you guys what I mean by that. So this is just the cord that, this is not what I normally use. Let me put it in my hand down here. This is what they send, like your fabric bundles get wrapped in. And the colors are just too perfect for me to use anything else, right? This is a big knot. But I have seen cool versions where it's doubled like this. I don't think that's what I'm gonna do, but that looks really neat, right? Let me move you up. You see that? But you can't see what's going on underneath it. I also have just like silver or gold sparkles, but even just one, which is I think what I'm gonna do, maybe in black, is it's gonna hide anything. And then you can go back in with a needle after you've glued it down and tuck any more raw edges under, and you won't even know. I also sometimes will pin the cording down while the glue dries, and it holds it down, and it hides so many mistakes. This is not perfect, and I just know that the cording is gonna cover all of that not perfect up. So, what else was I gonna say to you guys? Oh, nothing. I don't remember. I thought I did, but I do not. I've seen people use glue too. Like if you put a little glue down to hold the fabric in place. I don't like that personally. I like being able to move it because I'm going to make mistakes and I want to be able to reposition things and know that it's going to like be okay if I have to rearrange things, but that might be another tip that would help you feel confident in getting started. Brenda asks, what kind of needle are you using there? So these are just, I have a set of 4 of them, and so you might be seeing me interchange them. They are, I've already lost, upholstery needles, I think. I got them at Walmart. There was just a 4-pack of them. There's in different sizes. And it's what I learned on before I had the tucking tool, and I do prefer the tucking tool for the most part. Those are hard to grip, and especially when you're doing something long like this, my hand would be in a lot of pain by the end of this. And the tucking tool is nice and flat, and I can grab a lot of fabric at one time to tuck that in. But for little corners, having something a little more precise is useful. Nancy saying, gotta run to check back later to see the finished ornament. It's coming out great. Have a great rest of your day. I don't think I'm going to do the cord today, just so you know. So the finished ornament we'll do next week together. But I will finish putting the fabric on. Thanks for watching, though. So something that's kind of starting to happen, this always happens at the end, is as I'm pushing, it's like yanking on the other fabric around it, and you just kind of have to keep fiddling it with it at the end here. Because I don't want to untuck anything else. Tally said, very cool, Sarah. I can't wait to see what you do next week. Feels like doing just the cord next week might not be enough, but we'll see. Maybe we'll do a second ornament too. Whoop, there she goes. Last piece. Hi, Robin. Thanks for watching. Sorry this went so long today. Can you imagine if I had done the original one with all the teeny pieces? Judy said, thanks so much. Really cool. Would love to try one, but would really like the templates for sure. I understand. Barbara Green said, I made two similar pattern. One was angels and one was a gnome. How cute. All right. Keep picking up the wrong side here. Okay, guys. I feel like we're about done. So let's just take a look at it really fast. So the cord will definitely have to wait till next week, but that is okay. And in the meantime, I'll make sure to come up with a plan that hopefully minimizes the amount of like raw pieces of cord, because you always want to try to cover up the ends, and that way, you know, ideally you're hiding it under embellishments and things like that. So But here's our finished, as far as the tucking. This fabric was so perfect for this thing that I didn't know I was doing until about an hour ago. Not that I didn't know I was going to do this pattern, but this version of it. So, and then here's our top, which looks like that star-crossed basic star. It's wild. So we'll add the cord next week. I'll be here on Wednesday, probably around the same time. Let me catch up on comments really quick. Michelle said, thank you, Sarah. I'm definitely interested in trying this. Nancy said, super cute. Robin said, I like it so far. So I'm excited to see this with the cord. I think the cord's going to really make it pop a lot. So I thank you guys for hanging with me while I kind of experimented with this foam ball. I know we don't have templates for it yet, but I have a feeling we'll work toward that if you guys are excited about it. So thank you guys, and I will see you all next week around 2:30 Eastern time, 12:30 my time, and we'll add cord, and maybe we'll make another quick Halloween ornament, maybe a rapid wrap or something very fast. So I'm sitting here like trying to plan it while I'm live with you guys. But I hope you had fun with this. Let me know if you have questions in the comments about Kimekomi or anything. I'm always happy. Send me your pictures if you do this. And I will see you guys next week.